Hi everyone and welcome back to Good Evening KU. My name is Lily.
And I'm Jalen.
Well, Jalen, like this morning I woke up with snow on the ground and that's a drastic change from last week since it was like 83 and now it's freezing.
For sure. I was like, what the heck? I went and got myself a pumpkin spice latte and curled up to some Hallmark movies before class. It's crazy. We haven't even hit October yet, Halloween yet. We're still in October. And
I know, Halloween is coming up this weekend. It's going to be definitely different with COVID-19 precautions in place. Do you know what you're going to be or do you have any plans?
I think I'm going to be a prisoner, so like an orange jumpsuit, have a little fun with that. I'm not really sure my plans with COVID. It kind of cuts things down, slims them down a little bit. But what are you going to be?
I have no idea what I'm going to be. I don't even know if I'm going to be going out for Halloween or anything like that. I was trying to go home this weekend, but I'm excited because my parents are actually coming this weekend, and we're going to go catch the Iowa State KU football game.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of KU football, we had a tough loss to K-State. That was a tough one.
Very unfortunate, but it seemed that a lot of people from KU went to K-State to watch the game.
Oh yeah, I went down there. It was it was a cold game. It was brutal, but we made it out. Not too many injuries, so that's a plus always looking at the football side of things.
But yeah, it wasn't good being a KU fan that day against K-State because they're kind of like a rival for us.
Oh yeah, for sure. The city showdown. That's what we look forward to all year round, beating K-State. Sadly, it didn't happen this year, but hey, there's always next year, and hey, basketball is just around the corner.
We'll get them in basketball for sure.
Oh yeah, and speaking of basketball, KU Athletics just released that we will be having a basketball season this year, and that we will be having our first game December 5th against North Dakota, and so that should be a good one with Creighton following that following week. So let's hope for some basketball this year, actually.
I know
that was quite a shocker for a lot of Jayhawks, as we didn't really know what was going to happen.
Do you think they're going to allow fans in the stadium?
Allen Fieldhouse is not built for social distancing.
I agree.
I think it's going to be a bubble situation or just kind of family. Hopefully family can come in and watch their kids play, but I don't see a student section and too many fans. They can't really. We don't have the means to split people up, I think.
That's right.
But
it's not the same if you're going to be split up in Allen Fieldhouse.
That's kind of like late night. We couldn't even have late night, but luckily for us, we were able to virtually do it, so that was a plus. And we'll be talking about that a little later on in the news today. But yeah, if it's snowing Halloween, I'm not going out.
It's going to be too cold.
Nope, I will be curled up.
This is nothing. This is like no snow. I'm from Chicago, so we're used to getting almost a foot over the winter time. So it's interesting to see like people in like long winter coats, and I'm just like, it's not even that cold outside.
Oh yeah, I'm from here, so I'm used to the 75 degrees and the 30 drop.
Yep.
Like I'm used to that. So this was a shocker, though. It's always funny, even though I've seen snow numerous times. It still always is a shocker when you see it. Like, oh my goodness, it's actually snowing. My professor today actually told me today was his first snow he's seen. Isn't that crazy?
That is interesting. That is very interesting. I couldn't imagine not seeing snow.
But some people don't see snow. I guess when you're just around it growing up, you think everyone's seen it, right? Like it's a norm.
So who's our guest for today?
So we're going to have assistant basketball coach Fred Quartlebaum in here in a bit to talk about late night and how that worked this year with COVID protocols and all that, as well as talking a little bit about the KU basketball season and maybe getting a little insight of how that's going to go.
So we'll go to a commercial break, but make sure to stay on so you can watch the interview with KU basketball assistant coach.
Hi guys, welcome back to Good Evening News. I'm with assistant basketball coach Fred Quartlebaum as we talk a little bit about the KU basketball season, how that's going to go. Hi, Coach Quartlebaum. How are you doing?
Hi, Jenny. Thanks so much for having me. It's an honor to be a part of the show and looking forward to catching up with you on Kansas basketball.
Of course. So late night. It was a little different this year, huh?
Go ahead. I'm sorry
about that. So how was it a little different for you? You've been here for numerous years. How was it the transition? Was it a lot harder to process and to get prepared versus normal late nights in the fog?
Well, that's good. What we had to do is, we brainstorm. We've actually discussed this probably within the last, 2.5 months. We knew we had to pivot. Definitely wanted to uh, have an opportunity to showcase, our guys. Fortunately, we couldn't do it, in Allen Fieldhouse, but the best way we could have this experience to share with the fans was virtually. So I thought it came off really, really good. And I think the fans, from what I've been told and just talking to people, that they really appreciate it.
Awesome. And so a lot of students here don't really understand what late night in the fog is. And it's the kickoff to basketball season when the NCAA says you can practice, correct? And
Yeah,
so
you're absolutely right. Yes.
back in the day, it was called Midnight Madness, and you guys used to practice at what, 12 o'clock? As soon as the clock hit 12, you guys were in the gym practicing?
Yeah, that was kind of the kickstart. We're going back to, I'm kind of dating my age here, but back in the mid 80s, where the excitement, the energy, and enthusiasm to get practice started usually was like that October 14th or 15th. And yeah, you're right. Some schools actually, once the clock hit midnight, they had their, as you mentioned, Midnight Madness. So it is turned on to so many different venues throughout the course of the country. And obviously, arguably, we're one of the best, in the country with Late Night in the Fog.
Oh, for sure, especially with some of the amazing headliners we've had in the past, bringing some spotlight to KU. But sadly, we didn't have a big headliner this year, correct? What was that a hard decision to make on like not having the big crowd come, not the big name?
No, Jay, that's a really good question. 'Cause like you mentioned in the past, we've always had some type of celebrity, but I think what's going on in our country, the climate that we're all involved in, whether it be social unrest, the pandemic, all those things. So again, a great testament to our players this year. We wanted to go in a different direction, and we spent the last, say, 2 to 3 months on, being advocates of change. And with that being said, is we had initiatives that we put forth, and you had a chance
For
to
sure.
see it throughout the late night. So I think it evolved around that, and our guys have been unbelievably, engaged, education, and just going out, from registration, voter registration. I commend our guys. We have 12 student athletes that are all voter registered. We've actually had 4 of our guys do their absentee ballots, and in the next 2 days we should have all our guys, you know, uh, should be voting here in the next 2 days. So we're thrilled about that.
I have a question for you. So, late night in the fog, that's a big thing to bring recruiters in, show them what KU basketball is all about. Was that hard not being able to bring recruiters in for that?
Yeah, it was a challenge, but it's going on. It's not just us, Jay. This is throughout the course of the country. Now
Mhm.
what you had to do is find ways to, to share, to bring it to the television screens or the laptops and iPads or the phones, to them. So having it virtual, I think, was a plus because it was free. They were able to watch it, and I thought it actually turned out to be pretty good. I think the response that we had received was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, you guys did an amazing job at it this year. I know it's definitely a hard transition when you're used to something, having to do a complete 180 turnaround and just readapt to this crazy life we're living in right now. And it's definitely a change for a lot of us trying to adapt to the change, of course. So KU basketball released, we are having a season. I thought it was pretty funny. They were released right before I got you in the studio. So I was hoping to get a little insight of how you think that's going to go
Yeah.
season wise.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was actually at practice and I ran up here to be a part of the Zoom call. So I have not actually seen the
Oh,
schedule. I know that the Big 12 schedule has been released. Non-conference schedule. I think we're still working on a few details. I believe the Kentucky game, if I'm not mistaken, is still on board. I think it mentioned that Orlando is not. So we're still actually trying to fit in some games and work with different teams throughout the course of the country. So hopefully the next week or so, we should have everything solidified.
awesome. And so, with that being said, do you think we couldn't have fans for late night? I know you can't give us too much because you don't know too much. If we're going to have fans for this coming season?
Well, we hope so. I think that's the game plan. I don't know if we'll have a full capacity of 16,300, but the focus is, and our administration have done a phenomenal job of trying to work out. I think it's all hands on deck. Obviously, safety guidelines are going to be, the primary purpose to make sure that the venue is safe. But I'm expecting and anticipating that we will have fans. Just not sure how many.
Oh, for sure. Well, I think that wraps it up. Thank you so much, Coach Q, for coming and talking to me, giving us a little insight on Kansas basketball. So we're going to cut to commercial. And once again, thanks for joining us.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you very much.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back. I'm Olivia, and this is your Good Evening KU News Update. President Trump abruptly ended an interview with anchor Leslie Stahl from 60 Minutes. The 38 minutes of the episode that were caught on camera aired last night. After leaving the interview, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany appeared to give Stahl a very large book that she said had Trump's healthcare plan. The book was actually filled with executive orders and congressional initiatives, but no healthcare plan. A monument of a Confederate soldier that stood outside the Madison County, Alabama courthouse for many centuries has been relocated to a cemetery. The monument was of General John Morgan, a Kentucky plantation owner. The statue had faced vandalism and protest, as well as groups such as Black Lives Matter and the Rosa Parks State Committee asking officials to remove the statue. 19-year-old Sasha Obama appeared in a TikTok alongside a friend rapping to Moneybagg Yo's Said Some remix featuring female rap duo City Girls. The video quickly went viral on TikTok and was trending on Twitter. Both artists reposted the video on their social media accounts, including the heart eye emoji. Although the video was PG and lighthearted, it was quickly taken off TikTok after the viral exposure. After spending lots of quality time together during COVID-19 quarantine, Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson have officially gotten back together. Khloe told an inside source that Thompson has repeatedly apologized and promised he has changed forever. They both have agreed to take things slowly and put their 2-year-old daughter, True Thompson, first. In sports, the women's basketball team released their schedule today, beginning with a Thanksgiving Eve game against Northern Colorado. The Lady Jayhawks have 9 games scheduled before the end of the year and another 9 in January before classes resume. Both the women's and men's conference tournaments are scheduled for the second week of March in Kansas City, although neither the Big 12 nor KU Athletics have made an announcement regarding fans in attendance. And late this afternoon, the men's team released its updated schedule, which includes 2 games against top Southeastern Conference opponents. The Jayhawks will open the State Farm Champions Classic against Kentucky on December 1st and then meet Tennessee in the SEC Big 12 Challenge on January 30th. As far as COVID-19 protocols, head coach Bill Self says he expects the season to be anything but normal.
But I think the NCAA has been giving advice and information from experts outside the NCAA that have the best feel on the safest way to proceed. Our season will get interrupted this year. I'm not saying Kansas's, but our basketball season, the way we know it, will not come off, at least in my opinion, because of the testing protocols. And I don't see those testing protocols changing.
And that will wrap it up for today's news update. Please keep watching, and after the break, Halen will be back to tell us if the snow is finished and just how cold it's going to get.
Yeah, I always just clap in this part.
This is where everyone's talking amongst themselves. Do you know how to do it? Do you know how to do it?
Are we supposed to smile?
When do we start? Somebody over here already started.
Can we talk about the piccolo part? It's the most complicated one.
It is. If you listen, you're doing it when the band's not playing.
You have to tell me when it starts. I still don't know.
Here we go. Just clapping now. No humps.
Nailed it.
I practiced this morning.
Tomorrow is just 2 people.
It has a right and a wrong way of doing it. No, wrong.
I like my way better.
I don't know how to
1,
do
2,
the
3,
end.
4.
It's just I don't know the
Sorry.
head.
It's hard by yourself.
Good evening, Jayhawks. My name is Halen Woolhite, and I will be giving you your Monday evening weather forecast. Taking a look outside right now, the snow is finally clearing out, and we're currently sitting at 30 degrees with overcast skies, with winds from the north at 12 to 17 miles per hour. And here's our current radar, and sorry about that. Here's our current radar, and as you can see, again, snow is moving out from our area. There are some spots where there are some flurries, but again, this snowstorm should be out by tonight. And here's our total. Here's our accumulations for this evening as well. We're going to be mostly about 1 inch or 2 in Lawrence, but some areas are expecting about 2 to 4 inches total of snow. But again, for us in Lawrence, we're probably going to be sticking about 1 inch or a little bit more. But as for tonight, though, we're going to be sitting at 26 degrees with with a hard freeze and potential of flurries tonight. So I do have a warning here for tonight. Again, because of a hard freeze, there might be some icy surfaces. So if you plan on driving tonight or walking around, might want to be a little cautious, take it a little slow, because these surfaces might start to ice up for tonight. And here's our hour-by-hour evening planner. And as you can see, again, we're going to be sticking to the upper 20s for the rest of the evening. Some flurries sticking around, but then it's going to start clearing out. Well, not really clearing out, but we're going to be cloudy, but no more snow for the rest of the evening. But again, freezing temperatures, definitely going to see some ice there. So I'm putting for roads and sidewalks at a low risk. Closing and delays, I don't see any. And power outages, don't see that for us either. Just mostly sidewalks and roads. Might want to keep an eye out for those slick spots. Looking into tomorrow's forecast, it's going to be mostly cloudy for the most of the day. No snow for tomorrow, thank goodness. And we're going to be sitting at a high of 38 degrees with winds from the northwest at 5 to 8 miles per hour. And for the rest of the week, we're going to be starting to climb back into the upper 50s and 60s to the weekend and on Halloween. We are going to see some rain showers on Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday, we are going to see a lot of rain, but mostly in the morning. But for the most part, we're going to be sunny going into the rest of the weekend. And on Halloween, it should be a wonderful weekend for any kind of festivities for that day. So if you plan on going out trick-or-treating, or having a Halloween party, it is going to be a great night to do that. That is all I have for this evening's weather forecast. Thank you for tuning into Good Evening KU tonight. We will be back next week. Have a good evening and stay safe, Jayhawks.